there's a lot of people out there who've got dealt a raw deal, and they put their head down and they go forward. They don't seek the victimhood. They don't seek acknowledgement. It's fun to be acknowledged, right? For your efforts and stuff. But the people that put their head down, work, and take care of their own shit, and do so without, by being independent about it, that's hardcore to me. We all face, this is again off topic, this is way off topic. Way off.
I don't even know if we answered the fucking question.
I don't even know what the question was. Well, just to plug myself, and not sexually.
Well, let's throw the question out first.
Okay, how would you train if you're going for all around fitness, or however you want to say it? So you're going to be strong, in shape, body weight exercises, stuff like to be able to run. And I'm having edited the new book that I wrote, which details all of this. It is the most detailed programming book it's got like 75 different programs in there for whatever you want. But the key to any of this is a very simple concept that I came up when I actually wrote an article when I was here. It's called the push-pull concept, and this has nothing to do with pushing and pulling. It has, when you push something in, you got to pull something out. And there's always going to be some kind of compromise in training. The problem that everyone has is they want to squat 8 days a week. They want to run a 4-minute mile.
Stack.
And they just keep on adding stuff, and your body can't do that. And it's just not smart. And you kind of have to look at things kind of like an athlete. Like a football player is obviously the background, and you're very familiar with football, is football players need to train. How many times did we argue with Louis about this? They have other things they got to train.
Yes.
They can't just lift. They just can't lift all the time. Yeah. And that, I'll never. This is the best fucking story you've ever said to me about this. Was someone had approached Louis and he had talked to you about basketball players, and they never wanted to lift, and that's pretty true. This is a great story. And so Louis was getting upset, like, how can they not want to train? Lifting weights, but how Louis is.
Yeah.
Lift. And then like 2 weeks later, a week later, you asked Louis to put a basketball hoop in the in the parking lot. This was at Demarest. And he's like, well, fuck would I want to do that? And you said, well, now you know how basketball players feel about lifting. So there's always got to be, and basically, one of the key concepts I talk on is balance. And it's just, Dave knows this very well, just in life, you got to have some kind of balance. And that doesn't mean equal time.
No.
It means when you spend something on time with this, it doesn't detract from this, and it's able to push forward to reach your goals. And I know both of us had a tough time with lifting, work, and family. And again, you have to have someone who's supportive of your endeavors. But I will say this, and Dave knows the same way, you don't have a lot of time for anything else. You can't do this. It was pretty much those three things. Mm-hmm. And so to touch on another point is you have to do as little as possible in each endeavor to make progress. And the current thing is people just want to do work, which to me is stupid. It's like doing busy work. Remember doing math class, you had to show your work?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got the answer. And it's not exactly a totally appropriate metaphor, but it's the same thing. You only have to do what you should do and no more. I mean, how many times did you get I want to do this kind of sled dragging, I also need to train for jujitsu. It's like, well, man, you gotta kind of, you gotta pick and choose, man. Not everything can be important at the same time.
Yeah.
So
my answer on that is going to be a little bit different, but I'm also going to preface this by saying that my answer would be secondary to what he just said, because I'm going to give my answer from a personal perspective, not a perspective of if I was trained to work with an athlete, because then all those different qualities have to fall into place. Speaking from the time perspective, I don't have time. I don't want to say that. I don't have the desire. Okay, I don't have the desire to want to have complete fitness. I don't. My training right now, and Jim kind of busted my balls in an email a couple days ago. But my training right now, I can lay out the way I'm training and what I'm doing, and people can watch my videos and say, man, you're a fucking idiot trying to do this. My training's goal oriented, and if I was to tell you what the training goal that I really wanted to do was, people are gonna say it's fucking stupid. It's not. But you know what? I understand that. I also understand that my training isn't conducive for a lot of the shit that I'm doing. My training isn't conducive for being the strongest, the biggest, the healthiest. It's not. My training is conducive for my head, for my mind. And that's the most important thing to me. At this point in my life, it's the same thing. Yes. So I'm going to train the way I want to fucking train. I don't even care if it doesn't make me stronger. Now I try to avoid anything that's going to beat my joints down any worse, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to do it. Because there's certain things that I want to try to do. But that's more from a mental perspective, because
what's funny is the role that training plays in both of our lives right now is worlds different.
Yes.
Okay. And even if you did the exact same exercises and workouts, it would have a totally different narrative to it.
Yes.
So if you did everything the same, it would just be for a different reason. It's a really, the one thing, I don't want to jump on this parade that we're all soft now, but we're out of the food chain. Like, we don't have to run from lions and tigers, right?
Yes.
And we sit down and we don't have to fight for anything. And I think if we don't kind of train that animal part of us, where we just kind of get stupid and challenge ourselves physically, and think about this, how many days a week do you train? Like, really train? Four. So 4 days a week for an hour, 2 hours or whatever, that's all you're asking for your physical self. And it's not,
it's 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole fucking week to recover.
And but you're training, like, I train for the challenge. I love the challenge. I don't really care if I squat 900.
Yes.
But I want to be like, all right, today I want to do this. And I really want to, so it's fun because now I can kind of tap into that mental and physical thing that we don't really get anymore.
That's my main goal with the training, is that mental fight, because my joints are only going to take it for so long. So I'm going to keep that mental fight as long as I possibly can. Will there become a time in my life where I'm going to have to train for health? Probably, but I can probably say it's not going to fucking happen. And Jim will agree, because I've been trying to do it for 20 years. It ain't fucking happened.
Well, even if you did train for health, you would make it to be a challenge.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because I don't know, when people tell me, like, I think they're lying, or maybe they're just weird, that I just like to train for what, like, not even a reason.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand that. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, well, don't you want to, I call these Mount Everest goals. That's what you have, kind of. Mount Everest, people climb Mount Everest for what reason? Just because it's there, right?
Yeah.
So when you get a little bit, banged up or whatever, I like that challenge. I don't know if you exactly agree, but I like the challenge of, like, well, maybe I'm just going to try and jump rope 5,000 times without missing.
Yes.
Why? I don't know, because it's there.
Yeah, and it may not necessarily move you forward in your training goals, but you know what? We're past that.
Yeah.
Now, if we were working with, we'll redirect back here a minute. If we're working with a 19-year-old kid and he works with several kids, if we're working with a 19-year-old kid that's trying to get ready to play football, this narrative totally changes.
Yeah.
Because now there's a whole different goal. It's a performance type goal. And it's not a goal based really around what the individual, well, it still is based around what the individual wants, but it's also based around what society needs and what the coach needs and what he needs to do to be a better player. So there's other factors. He has to do things he really doesn't like. I don't have to do that anymore. I'm not doing a fucking reverse hyper again. I've spent too many years doing it. Will it help my back? Will it help my squat? Yeah, maybe, but I'm not fucking doing it. I'd rather just squat 50 pounds less. I've done fucking 100,000 of those goddamn things. I'm not doing it anymore. I've earned that, so if that means I squat when I'm done, it's like, fuck, my back hurts. Hey, I'm going to enjoy every bit of that fucking back pain.
What's funny is someone asked me some question about when you get older, and you remember, Dr. Ken Leisner, right?
Yeah.
He had the greatest idea about training when you're older. He's like, don't worry about what you can't do, focus on what you can do.
Yes.
And both of us, with your hip and my back, have had shit taken away for a long period of time. And so when I come back to it, it's all the more sweeter.
Yes.
And it's, though you don't know what you got until it's gone bullshit.
Yes.
And we're very lucky to be able to still do at some level the thing that defines and help define and you.
Yeah, there's a lot of power in that statement that I think we need to say it again is, when you get older, and I was guilty of this, and I know a lot of other people are, people do focus too much on what they can't do.
They get all depressed because I can't bench now because my shoulders.
Yes. I mean, it's part of the narrative. When somebody will come up and you're talking to them, it's like, hey, how you doing? How your training going? What's the first thing they say?
Yeah, well,
oh, my shoulder's all fucked up. I can't grab the bar. And they're not telling you, hey, my fucking curls are going awesome. So I think that's a huge factor for people who are older. I get a lot of questions about that. How do you change your training as you go older? I think that's probably the best advice that I've heard. Focus on what you can do, and there's going to be things you're not going to be able to do, but sometimes they come back.
Yeah.
Some may never, but shit, a lot of them have for me. You're just not going to be as good at it, but you can still do it.
It's funny you mentioned curls. I had both shoulders were really bad, and so I just did rows but I trained it like a bench, going crazy. It's like, well, at least again, that fed the mental competitive side of what I think we're both kind of going after, maybe in different ways. But you're able to squat. There's nothing better than squatting. As much as you fucking hate it, I'm gonna tell this story. I'll never. This winter, I was outside training, and it was about 10 below, and I have a garage gym, and about halfway through, I was sitting on the bench taking a break, and I thought to myself, this is the fucking last place I want to be. Because you just kind of do it. You walk in the way when we start training. It was so fucking cold in that weight room. I was so bitter, but this is what I love to do. And it's, people talk about hardcore all the time, and that wasn't hardcore,
No, but I know what you're saying.
But it was like you just go out.
Actually, I know what you're saying. They don't. So tell them the difference.
I think hardcore is kind of in regards to training stuff.
Just in life.
Oh, fuck, I don't even know.
People say they're hardcore trainers.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there who've got dealt a raw deal, and they put their head down and they go forward. They don't seek the victimhood. They don't seek acknowledgement. It's fun to be acknowledged, right? For your efforts and stuff. But the people that put their head down, work, and take care of their own shit, and do so without, by being independent about it, that's hardcore to me. We all face different challenges in life. I always laugh when people call them third world problems or first world problems, like, oh, I was late to the airport or whatever. But as life goes on, for example, we had a babysitter, and she needed to go to prom. She's all stressed out about prom, and I was like, oh, it's just not a big deal. But to her, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
So just because it's not, you're not faced with a gunman in you, doesn't mean it's not a problem, and it's still stressful. And but the funny thing about just hardcore training is, when did you start training?
13, so 83.
Okay, so 13 years old. That should give you an idea how old Dave is.
Yeah.
But you've been consistently doing this every single day, just about, for 30 years? 35 years or so?
I squatted every Friday for more than 30 some years.
And that consistency of just going in and getting your work done and it just being part of your life. I don't know if it's so much hardcore, but I see way too many people, like, I can count on the times on one hand I missed a workout in the first 10 years. And one of them was when I went to basic training. So, that's funny kind of, right? Because,
no, but you still missed the workout. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I was running around like a fucking moron. So, I don't know if this is just the social media thing that's gotten a little crazy with people who posting every workout they've ever done. And do you remember when Louis' tapes first came out? That was like one of a kind. Like, you got to see, of course they just ran the tape. It was fucking boring.
Oh yeah.
But that's all there was. That was all the media that you had of people working out. And they deserved it because you guys were awesome. Like, I don't want to see someone squat 300 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them, but it's not really newsworthy.
I think the difference with that too is knowing when your body needs a break and when you're just being a puss. And you know, Sunday is a good example. I woke up Sunday, I felt like shit. I didn't want to train. Seriously, it was the last thing I wanted to do. But I have this stupid goal I'm trying to achieve. So I came in, you know, I walk in and Ted says, how you feeling? I feel like fucking shit. This is the last place I want to do. Last thing I want to do, I'm going to do what I got to do and just get the fuck out. Because I knew my body could handle it, but mine didn't want to do it. So you just do it anyhow. Now, on the flip side, you could have your mind that really wants to do it, but your body's saying, fuck you. And then you need to do whatever you need to do to get the body right. It may be taking the day off, moving the day, mobility work. I mean, there's a lot of factors that can play into that. But I think as you get older, or that should be one of the first things that you learn when you're training for strength, is that difference, because it's significant and your mind will play tricks on you. And you need to know how to, you know, tame the lion while at the same time
Tame the tiger. That's from Saturday Night Live, actually.
Yeah. Tame the tiger, but still be the beast, you know? I don't even know if we answered the fucking question.
I don't even know what the question was.
I think it was about full training for.
Oh, yeah. Boy,
I think we did.
Yeah, that's something.
Somewhere in there.